Good evening. Welcome to Prime Business. My name is Emma Davis. To our stories for tonight, Member of Parliament for Boko Central is set to lead the minority in Parliament to demonstrate against the Bank of Ghana on 30th July 2024. This was contained in a letter to the Greater Accra Regional Police Commander seen by Joy Business. There is more in the following report.
Member of Parliament for Boko Central, Mahama Yariga, in a letter alleged that they are embarking on this action over what he described as wasteful expenditure by the Bank of Ghana. The Member of Parliament argues that his action was also influenced by rising costs of the new Bank of Ghana's headquarters, which has gone up significantly from the original cost. Mr. Yariga also alleges that the bank is putting up new house for the governor at the cost of $40 million, which the bank has refused when the minority requested for some information. The Member of Parliament also raised concerns about the bank embarking on some actions without Parliament's approval.
Meanwhile, the Bank of Ghana is rejecting claims of wasteful expenditure, insisting all projects went through the necessary scrutiny and procurement approvals. In response to a right to information request by Joy Business, the Bank of Ghana maintained that the construction of the new headquarters at Ridge, the duty post for the bank, and Governor Dr. Ernest Addison's new residence were properly scrutinized. Sources say the governor's second-term contract will be ending soon, hence the new building is not his personal property. A little longer with the central bank, as the Bank of Ghana is set to sanction persons or companies who issue checks without the corresponding money in their accounts. Speaking in an interview with Joy Business, Head of Credit Reporting Unit of the Financial Stability Department at the Central Bank, Godfred Kujo, says such acts attract a ban from access to any credit facility within the financial sector.
Do not have any money in your account, you do not issue a check to somebody. Now, we've seen it happening so much, and so people are losing confidence in the checking system. And so today you go and buy something, you issue a check, and they'll tell you that, well, unless the check is cleared before you can come for the goods. Or some companies will not even accept it because people issue checks when they don't have money, and that's what we refer to as that check. Now, because of that, the Bank of Ghana put in quite a number of measures. We have made a lot of noise about it, that if you issue a that check on 3 occasions within a year, Bank of Ghana will sanction you. And some of the sanctions include the fact that we would withdraw your checkbooks, you may not be able to issue check again, and another punitive action, that is, you will not be able to have access to any credit facility within the banking sector. And we've made so much noise about this. The banks have also tried their best to let people know, but we continue to see that. And I have to tell you that the bank has just recently sanctioned quite a number of people, and we know that this is something that we need the public to be aware of, especially for businesses. If the Bank of Ghana says that you are not going to be allowed to issue a check, then obviously that is something that will affect your business. And if we are not going to allow you to have credit within the industry, that's also something that will affect your business. And so let's all be guided. Do not issue a check when you do not have money in your account.
Government has revealed that it will move to appeal ruling halting unitization of some oil fields in the country. An international tribunal in Sweden has ruled to stop governments from forcing 2 oil firms, ENI and VL, to unitize their operations, another oil field operated by exploration firm Springfield. Minister of State designate at the Energy Ministry, Herbert Crapper, disclosed this during his vetting in Parliament.
Trial award was issued by the panel yesterday, essentially saying that the government of Ghana does not have to pay any monetary damages to the claimants. Also saying that while under the laws of Ghana, unitization is permissible, the manner, the procedure that was invoked to do the unitization is what the panel took issue with. What it means, or what I believe it means, is that the government's policy that when two wells straddle, blocks straddle, they can be unitized so that we can save the infrastructure, the cost that goes into developing them separately. We can save all of that cost. I believe what this award does is to signal to the government to cure the anomaly, which has been pointed out, and the government's policy of unitizing the blocks. We can go ahead with it and ensure that we develop both blocks, bring out our hydrocarbon resources for the benefit of the Ghanaian people. The good news is that the claim that was being made, $7 billion US, that was being made on the government, the panel finds that government doesn't have to pay any of that at all. The panel found GNPC not to be liable in any way whatsoever in what transpired. We reserve the right under our laws to unitize blocks that we believe straddle and don't have to be developed independently. And I believe that the ministry would do a review together with the Attorney General's office and will be advised accordingly on what the next step should be.
Meanwhile, oil firms ENI and VL have committed to staying in Ghana for business and continuing to develop the country's biggest gas project. It's coming after an international tribunal halted the push by government of Ghana to unitize the operations with other fields. There's more in this report.
Two oil firms in the statement noted that they value their relationship with Ghana and hope this award will rather help bring this dispute to a close. They also believe all the parties should now be focused on continued development of Ghana's oil and gas sector. The assurance from these firms follows an international ruling that sought to halt the full enforcement and the earlier directive by the Energy Ministry that they should work to unitize their oil fields with another local player, Springfield, which includes the Sankofa oil area. However, the two firms had issues with their approach, hence the need to seek redress from the court. The International Tribunal has concluded that the unitization directives were wrong and unlawful and that Republic of Ghana's action breached Ghanaian law and the terms of their petroleum agreement. There are also concerns that the ruling could impact on fresh works on the oil area. However, based on the statement issued by the oil firms, it looks like they are committed to the oil project, which provides a chunk of the gas supply for industrial purposes as well as domestic consumption.
Let's talk inflation, because inflation for the month of June declined by 0.3 percentage points from that of May, which was at 23.1%. Data from the Statistical Service shows a month-on-month increase in food inflation was by 5.9%. Here's a report.
According to the Ghana Statistical Service, food inflation increased to 24.0%, while non-food inflation decreased to 21.6%. Fruits and nuts was the highest contributor to food inflation, with a month-on-month inflation of 12.6%, while vegetables, plantains, tubers and starchy fruits contributed 9.0% to the month-on-month food inflation. Here's government statistician Professor Samuel Kobina-Enim.
So consumer price index for the month of June 2024 was 226.4 relative to 184.4 that was recorded for the same time in June 2023. Consumer price index for June 2024 stood at 226.4 relative to 184.4. Based on these two indices, that is CPI for June 2023 and CPI for June 2024, rate of inflation for the month of June 2024 was 22.8%. As indicated, we have 15 subclasses within the food basket. And out of these 15 subclasses, there are 5 of them with significant weight that drives food inflation, of which we have cereals as one of them, of which we have ready food as one of them. We have fish also and live animals as the other 2. The only subclass that in this case you may want to relate it to seasonality are the items that fall under vegetables and tubers, because with the others that I talked about, that generality in terms of seasonality on crops do not influence them. So it will be important to go back and look at these different categorizations of the subclasses and identify the ones that would have effect of seasonality. But generally, it is right. Around this time, we see that prices of specific food items, but not all food items, we see that is going up. So if you want to relate that to what we are seeing in June 2024, as I indicated, out of the 5 subclasses, was vegetables and tubers that recorded the highest price change of the 5 subclasses.
According to the data, the Bono East region contributed 39.2% to food inflation, while the Upper East region contributed 29.9% to non-food inflation.
The General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Kariwa, is projecting low output in food production by the end of the year. According to him, the agricultural sector has been constrained by activities that undermine its expansion. Reacting to the continual rise in food inflation, Mr. Kariwa said production in the sector could decline going forward.
The agricultural landscape and what we have done before today, we don't expect better results than what we are seeing today. Because the question is, one will ask, what have we done to agriculture to warrant a positive change in production? We have virtually done nothing. Not only that, we have even gone beyond doing nothing to engaging in certain activities that undermine agricultural production. Agricultural production has been constrained by, one, government's own inability to support farmers to grow. Because if you look at the Plan for Food and Health Phase 2, it has not yet been able to support farmers significantly for agricultural production. Then the other part has to do with galamsey, which is widely spread across the country, particularly the southern part of the country. And the effects of galamsey and the ongoing degradation of the soil, the lands and rivers and the rest, all combined to make agricultural production very, very difficult. So we should not expect anything better than what we are receiving. Probably we may, even at the close of the year, have a very bad total output for agriculture.
The Federation of Association of Ghanaian Exporters is calling on government to take steps to support the horticultural industry to earn more foreign exchange. According to the association, the industry has been left to individuals, private businesses and donors even after several calls for state intervention. President of FAGE, Davis Kobo, made the call after addressing stakeholders at the Made in Ghana Horticultural Expo in Accra.
According to the Federation of Association of Ghanaian Exporters, the horticulture sector in Ghana is not merely about crops, but livelihoods, economic growth, and sustainable development that contribute substantially through agricultural expansion. The Horticultural Expo is a platform provided by the Federation to discuss common issues affecting the export sector. Speaking to journalists after the opening, President of FAGE, Davis Kobo, lamented that the industry is faced with a series of challenges, hence the need for government support.
I sell electricity to my farm. It shouldn't have been so. Meanwhile, I pay taxes in Ghana and a whole lot. So these are some of the things we are facing. We are saying that, look, we should be able to. Government is creating an enabling environment, but enabling environment in what sense? I mean, most of this need to be done. Currently, as I speak, horticulture, if you ask me who is supporting horticulture, it's rather the donors. These are most of the things we need to look at and see that, look, once we articulate and make sure that we put in a lot of effort, we'll make a lot of money and to curtail the constant depreciation of our city against the major currencies.
He has therefore been explaining the importance of the expo and the need to make it an annual event.
The whole essence of this expo is to create awareness and also make sure that we have a lot of seminars and other workshops to align and make sure we raise the standards of export. The issue about export is, people talk about export, but there are fundamental things you need to do to meet your export. The demand is there, but then you can't just wake up at a go and say, look, I'm exporting. And this is the more reason why we are here today.
Meanwhile, the country raked in about $3.94 billion in 2023 in non-traditional exports, which includes horticultural products. This was about an 11% increase over the 2022 record.
Chief Executive for the Ghana Commodity Exchange, Tuchi Evoyi, has charged women public relations practitioners to take a critical role in curbing misinformation and fake news in the wake of the digital evolution. According to her, the concern of misinformation can be linked to the increase in digital platforms which are managed by unprofessional staff and the quest to churn out negative news. She was speaking to Joy Business after addressing the 8th Women in PR Summit in Accra.
Women in PR Summit this year focused on equipping public relations professionals with the most relevant knowledge and skills needed to evolve and be valuable assets in a landscape shaped by artificial intelligence and environmental, social, and governance factors. Under the theme, Empowering Practitioners for an AI and ECG Future, participants delved into how to empower the female players in their various industries to shape the economy. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Executive of the Ghana Commodity Exchange, Tuchi Evoyi, emphasized the need for PR women to take important roles in projecting the positive image of their brands.
So it's really about the quality of journalism that we need to improve. And an organization like Women in PR Ghana is sharing learnings, is embracing the women. They come together on a regular basis to look at what some of the issues are plaguing media, plaguing the industry. So the idea is really to educate and to ensure that at least the women practicing are applying some of these learnings and skills. So really it's about digging deeper. It's about doing proper investigation, proper analysis before sharing a story. As professionals, hopefully, women in PR can at least play an important role in this fight.
President of the Women in PR Ghana, Joyce Sakite Ahiadome, explains how useful the summit has been to industry and academia.
We have realized a gap between industry, academia, and students, and it is a platform by which we connect individuals or PR professionals who are practicing in Ghana and beyond. Again, when you look at our theme for this year, which is about AI and ESG, it is about ensuring that we are empowering our women to be ready for today and also the future. The PR landscape is changing, and every day there are trends. But then we believe that we can continue to be valuable to our organizations, we can continue to be valuable to this country and also ourselves by ensuring that we are keeping up with the pace. Today it may be AI and ESG, but tomorrow it may be something else. But we believe that with our yearly summit, we are able to nurture our people to be in tune with the times, and then we can go on to lead organizations, not just as PR people, but also as thought leaders in what we do.
The platform was also used by members to network and share industry best practices.
General Manager for Venture Capital Trust Fund, Percival Ufori Ampoma, is making a strong case for a reassessment of venture capital practices in Ghana. This, he says, will aid in attracting more international investors to support small and medium-scale enterprises across the country.
The Venture Capital Trust Fund, as part of the workshop, announced its introduction of two key initiatives, the Venture Capital Analyst Program and the Fund Manager Development Program, in a bid to bolster the rapidly growing venture capital and private equity sector. General Manager of Venture Capital Trust Fund, Percival Ufori Ampoma, said these initiatives aim to nurture talent and build capacity for the next generation of fund managers, ensuring a sustainable pipeline of skilled professionals to drive the industry's growth.
Some of our fund managers, or all our fund managers we invest in, they do valuation. We see when you invest as an equity holder, you hold equity, on a continuous basis, IFRS requires that you value your company and put that number on your balance sheet, on your financial statement. Also, for performance measuring, we need to measure our performance. How are we doing? We gave the money on this day Today, how are we measuring the money? Has it grown? Has it come back? Has the company improved? So these things are things that we need to determine. And the process of valuation is how we use to determine this thing.
Ghana's venture capital market is projected to reach a total capital raised of $290.3 million by 2024, with the later stage sector dominating the market with an expected volume of $237.8 million in the same year.
Thank you for your company tonight. I am Emma Davis, but for more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. I leave you with international business. Have a good evening.